A California mom agrees to Botox injections for her 8-year-old daughter in order to make her more competitive in beauty pageants. That decision has many wondering how early is too early for these kinds of invasive procedures. We put that question to cosmetic surgeon Dr. Nikko, who joins us today to talk a lot more about that. Thank you for joining us. And you know, Botox I wouldn't say is necessarily too invasive, not like a regular procedure, but anytime you're talking injections into a child, it seems pretty serious to me. How early or how young do you think is too young?
Well, you talk about cosmetic surgery in general. There are, for example, many young kids who ages, 8 to 10 who get cosmetic surgery for their earlobes because kids are making fun of them and it's affecting them. So, for those kind of procedures, it's certainly understandable. But when it comes to Botox, obviously you're talking something that is different. And so how young is too young? I mean, obviously a lot of people were angry and we were shocked at first, but when you think about it, I mean, are we really that shocked? I mean, first of all, it's a pageant mom, and so kind of a different world. And then she's living with, she's hanging around with a lot of girls who are making fun of her for whatever reasons, and it's important to recognize that that's the way kids are. And I think it's more important to recognize that what we ought to do is to really help these young children understand that it's okay to be made fun of. But girls are very, they're very aware of their appearance, unlike boys. For example, I have a bunch of bruises on my face from a fight, but I'm still going on air. But a girl would never, a female would never go on air like this, So it's important to really start out young and help them understand that it's your looks is not the most important thing in the world, and for girls especially, they grow up, and there's a great book called Captivating that really explains it well. Girls, they're born for some reason, they want to know, am I captivating, am I beautiful, and they ask that all the time.
What do you tell patients and perhaps their mothers when they come in and you feel like they might be too young? Do you have that discussion with them and say, it's probably not time quite yet?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it depends on the procedure, again, and then, of course, it depends on the maturity of the patient. There are a lot of teens that are a lot more mature than even adults, and, a lot of adults come in and they want certain procedures that are inappropriate for them. And so you certainly want to make sure that you address their maturity and really understand the reason behind the procedures.
What do you see the most? What are they asking for when we're talking to young folks, whether it be a girl or a boy? What procedures are they wanting? Well,
when they're young teens, most of them are the #1 procedure, earlobe repair. Very common. Kids make fun of kids with big, large earlobes, and so they want to come in and get that repair. And then as you get into the later teens, and you're talking more people are considering breast augmentation and liposuction. And so, really, when it comes to those kind of procedures, you're talking much more invasive, and so you really do want for them to understand what's involved.
What is the law in Texas as far as plastic surgery is concerned? Does there have to be a certain age or parental consent?
Yes, I mean, obviously, anyone under the age of 18, they really need parental consent. Once they turn 18, they can pretty much do whatever they want. And nowadays, you hear of all these people who are graduating from high school who are getting cosmetic surgery as a present, as a gift. And so, a lot of concerns about that, and so that's a great topic to discuss.
So I guess the take-home message here would be is just to have parents instill in their children that, as you said earlier, looks just don't have to be everything. It doesn't have to be that important that you're going to extreme measures, unless there's something, severely physical, like you said, that ears or something that might change their whole life.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yes, and it starts out very young. I have a beautiful daughter. She's 5 years of age. She came home one day and she asked me, "Am I ugly, Daddy?" Oh. And it breaks my heart. We tell her she's beautiful all the time, and so it really, it starts from the father-daughter relationship, and then ultimately, you have to understand that the ultimate father is God, and God loves her the way she is. But it starts out very young, and you got to really instill that in them when they're young. When they turn to early teens, it's probably too late. So a bigger social question is how can we help them early on?
Hopefully we can do that.
Yeah.
Dr. Nikko, thank you for being here today to talk to us about this, because I know a lot of people are talking after finding out about the early Botox.